Hello. So this one's been a bit of a headache actually. So I thought I'd treat the Haibike to a new chain because the old chain was quite worn, and yeah, so I fitted a new chain. In fact, I just noticed that I've missed a cover, so I've changed all of these covers to ones that I made myself, some orange ones. So I 3D printed and made some orange ones, as you can see. And I've missed one, so I need to change that. Yeah, so I thought I'd put a new chain on it and treat it to a new chain. Well, that turned into become a bit of a dilemma, because what happened after fitting the new chain was the chain would start pulling up on the front sprocket, and wasn't sure why. After some investigation, it was purely because I didn't have this bike since new, and it's obviously covered quite a few miles, and what it had been, the chain had been left on it for too long and it had worn the front sprocket and the rear cassette. The rear cassette wasn't as bad as the front sprocket was. Front sprocket was really worn, now had big burrs on the teeth, so I actually took the old one off, deburred it with a rotary tool and tried to fix it that way, but it still wouldn't work. It still kept pulling the chain back up around, so I decided I needed to find a new front sprocket. Well, that didn't get easily either, so this is a 16 tooth Haibike Enduro front sprocket, and the difference with this one, and this is where you've got to make sure you get it right, is that the fat bike version of the Bosch, because Bosch Gen 2, so the fat bike version has it's offset, so the drive for the front sprocket is back here, but the sprocket is over here. And I ordered one in from online, turned up, and it was for a standard bike. It was really hard to see in the pictures, and it didn't have this back fence on it, and it wasn't offset, so it didn't have the offset, so it would have pushed the chain over near the casing, which would have damaged the casing and rubbed the chain against the tyre. So I actually then had to go I went, in the end it was such a struggle to get hold of one, and Jesus, they're not cheap. I went to a local bike shop called Surf 55, and Tony at Surf 55, he helped me out. He was a bit stumped at first until I told him it was a fat bike, and as soon as I told him it was a fat bike, he realised it needed the offset one, so he ordered me one in. It was £108, and it was the last one, the very last one that Haibike had to supply him, so just managed to get that one. And yeah, so I had to get the removal tool for taking the front sprocket off, the Bosch Gen 2 removal tool. I'll leave links to that in the description, and I also got a crank puller, just a cheap one, just so I could pull the arm off and change that. And then I figured, well we're doing this, we may as well change the rear cassette at the same time. Let's have all of the drive new. So that's a Shimano 1136 10-speed cassette, which is what was on it when I took it off, so I'll leave a link to that one. That wasn't too bad price, that was $29.99, and that's quite a nice cassette there, so that went straight on, no problems. But this front sprocket was definitely the one to so I'll be keeping an eye on making sure the chain gets changed much more regularly, and then the front sprocket shouldn't go, because the front sprocket is stainless steel, so it should last a long time, as long as the chain is replaced every sort of 2,000 or under miles. But yeah, I'll just keep an eye on that. And yeah, so that was the adventures with the Haibike. As you can see, she's all back together after my little crash. My shoulder still hasn't fully recovered, to be fair. It's still, I'll forever have that lumpy shoulder, but the new seat's back on, the dropper post's on, and yeah, she's doing good now. She's doing good. So we're going to take her out, give her a test, and yeah, so I'll leave some links. Just know that on the front there, if you've got one of these, you need the spaced front sprocket. They're a bit of a bugger to get hold of, and keep up on your chain maintenance. So thanks for watching. Any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you.